Iceland has had no standing army since 1869, and since it has never declared war, many people consider it one of the most peaceful countries on Earth. And they're almost right. While it's true that Iceland has avoided major wars, it hasn't always been completely untouched by conflict. During World War II, Iceland was occupied first by Britain and then by the United States, but not through invasion. Iceland actually invited them. The country had declared neutrality at the start of the war, but with Hitler's forces sweeping across Europe and ignoring neutral borders, Iceland feared it might be next. So, in 1940, the United Kingdom stationed troops there to prevent a potential German invasion. A year later, Iceland formally asked the US to take over the defense duties in exchange for some favorable business deals. Then came the so-called Cod Wars, and yes, they were exactly as absurd as they sound. Between 1958 and 1976, Iceland and the United Kingdom clashed over fishing rights in the North Atlantic. It all began when Iceland expanded its coastal territory from 3 to 4 nautical miles, cutting into traditional British fishing zones. The UK retaliated by banning Icelandic ships from its ports. Iceland responded by extending its fishing limits even further, to 12 nautical miles, and things escalated from there. These wars weren't fought with guns or bombs, but with fishing trawlers and patrol ships ramming each other in the open sea. At one point, Iceland even cut off diplomatic ties with Britain. Most of Europe thought Iceland was being unreasonable, but the country depended heavily on its fishing industry and refused to back down. Over 4 rounds of these disputes, Iceland stood firm, and somehow, this tiny nation with no army and fewer than 400,000 people managed to outlast the British Empire. Part of their confidence came from a 1951 defense agreement with the United States, which allowed America to maintain bases in Iceland in exchange for protection. The US never had to intervene, but the mere possibility gave Iceland leverage. Eventually, Britain and the international community gave in, and Iceland got its way. The Cod Wars ended with only one fatality, a man named Halldór Hálén, who was accidentally electrocuted while repairing a damaged patrol boat. Beyond that, the conflict remained surprisingly calm. Since then, Iceland's biggest battles have been with volcanic eruptions, and, more recently, the flood of Instagram tourists chasing perfect selfies. Geography has always been Iceland's secret weapon. Its isolation, rugged terrain, and natural defenses have done more to protect it than any army ever could. But if Iceland used the cold North Atlantic as its shield, our next country uses the highest mountains on Earth.